I done busted that wide open. I done busted it because there ain't no Semitic. What is an Arab? A mixed breed. That's all it is. So here you got Shem for the Semitics, 2441 BCE. I'm giving you dates. Ham, 2440 BCE. You got Cush up there, 2342 BCE. Do you see them pyramids right there? That's at 2550 BCE. Do you know it took 200,000–300,000 years of architectural development to even get to that damn date right there? Do you understand what I'm saying? So how the hell is you gonna go back and tell me something about a damn Semite that's born 2441 BCE? Nigga, beat me. Just beat me. There's nothing we can do with that. I'm sorry. That's garbage. Can't start no damn history with that family. We much older than that. We're hundreds of thousands of years older than that. With facts.
So here we have the Egyptian hieroglyphic of Medunetta writing, which is the parent of the Sinai inscription. The Sinai inscription is the parent of the Phoenician script. The Phoenician script was the parent of the early Greek script. Obviously the Greek script is the parent of the Roman script, which is the script that we use today throughout the Western civilization. Why did they teach us this in school? Maybe I would have been a better writer if I knew that the letter that I was writing with was the letter that I had invented. They didn't teach us this. So here you find that the Phoenicians are beholden to the Semitic, and the Semitic are beholden to the Egyptians, and we know from the latest discoveries in TA-SETI'AN and in Cusco that the script preceded the Egyptians by several generations in Nubia. Then the Egyptians themselves are beholden to the land of Punt, to the God's land. This is important that we make these kinds of parallels. Let's look at the lies that they're telling.
If he's dealing with Semitic, the language Semitic, what he's doing, it comes from Shem. If there is no Shem, then there is no Semitic. That's what y'all got to understand. Those are fictional characters. We Africans, we ain't no damn Semitics. We've been here longer than that. So here's this is the Holy Bible. A good brother who was in Africa brought this back. This was in Ghana. This was a missionary's Bible. And it had an encyclopedia inside of it explaining a lot of the Bible. And so this shows you a series of plates illustrating biblical versions and antiquities. Helps to the study of the Bible. Will help validate that the Semites didn't have a language until their contact with Kemet. Okay, I'm giving you the copyright date, 1896. This is what it says. The principal language through which the Holy Scriptures have been transmitted to us are Hebrew, Greek, and Latin. It is therefore of interest to know the origin of the alphabets in which those tongues were written and the history of their development. The identification of their common origin is of quite recent date. It was not difficult to connect the Greek alphabet with the alphabet which is usually called Phoenician, but which is to perhaps better to give the wider name of Semitic. The forms of letters and still more their names and order conclusively prove the relationship. But to prove the descent of the Semitic alphabet from the Egyptian was a long and difficult task. In outward shape, the Semitic letters are to all appearance quite different from the Egyptian hieroglyphs. Their names are different, their order is different. These difficulties cause scholars to reject the ancient tradition handed down by the Greeks and Roman writers that the Semites had originally obtained their letters from Egypt. The tradition has, however, proved correct. In 1859, the French Egyptologist Desroches published the results of his study of an ancient cursive form of Egyptian writing, a form to which the name of Horatic, or writing of the priest, has been given, and showed beyond reasonable doubt that it was the connecting link between the Egyptian and Semitic alphabets. The most important document of which he made use of was the Prissy Papyrus, the date of which is conjectured to be around 2500 BCE. Let me go down here. The Semitics adopted 22 of the Egyptian alphabetical signs, and there can be little doubt that this formation of a new alphabet took place during the period of the Semitic conquest and occupation of the Delta, the Hicks Coast. That's what it's saying. They knew that in 1859. We got your ass. We got your ass.
By 4500 BC, ancient Egyptians began using burial texts to accompany the dead. First known written document. Now this is deep. Now we know by 4500 BC they're doing this. That meant they had to be at least 4,000 or 5,000 years getting to that. Because you don't just wake up one day and say, okay, I'm going to write. We know we invented writing, and they know it. And if you read in the Phaedrus by Plato, in Phaedrus, he says that the Africans gave the world. He's calling us Ethiopians, which is a Greek word for burnt things. He said the Africans give the world, and he names Jews, and he says mathematics, and he says he names a number of the other things, all of the sciences, geometry, etc. He says, but the greatest science of all that they've given to the world is the science of writing itself. Now they've got this in their archive from their main man, and they're still running around, running some Hammurabi stuff down, running some Greek stuff down. You understand? And this is their main man telling them. So the white folks try to play around Ethiopia with this Semitic thing and Hamitic thing.
Our diaspora is the final chapter. The ancestral lineage built pyramids. America's first immigrant. The king's son and daughters from now waters. The first architect, the first philosophers, astronomers, the first prophets and the doctors was us.
Now here we go with the Elvis patterns. 1525, 1504 BCE. Now, if you look right there to the left, you see the writings. When you see the red, that's just like the Bible. When they say Jesus' writings are in his speech, the things that he spoke is in red, that's where they got that from. And you can see to the right is the Arabic. And you can see where they copied right out of the Quranic. Just like the white boy had already done the research and showed you. Because they didn't have no damn books into the Quran. Give a damn what they say. They're liars. They did not have manuscripts. And you know a manuscript because a manuscript is written on paper.
But don't get confused, because Arabic is our language. There is no Arabic race. The word Arab connotes people who live in the sand, in the desert. It's not a connotation to race. It's a connotation to ecological location. They have turned it into a connotation to race. But the only place you can find a reference or roots to the Arabic language is to look at Medunetza, right? That's hieroglyph, right? The drawing language, the picture language. That language was put together by the African elite for the illiterate African masses so that they could comprehend the same thing that the elite could comprehend without having formal education. By using symbols from the ecology to express concepts, ideas, and principles, you didn't have to go to college to know what the elite was talking about. This language out of which Hebrew flow is the technical language and the scientific language of Medunetza, which is referred to as the hieratic script. Okay. And then there is this one, the Demotic script, which is Arabic. Aleph, Bat, Ta, Tha, Jim, Ha, Ka, Dal, Val, Raz, Zat, Sin, Shin, Sa, Dot. All of them are contained, plus many more symbols than they use, in the language that they call the Demotic script, which is really the Meroitic script of Sudan, which precedes this script. You understand what I'm saying? If we don't grab and get an understanding of how they've been playing with us and playing us, this language, you will not find this anywhere else in the world before you find this cursive form of writing in the Sudan. It is the Sudan that the ancients used to call Ethiopia.
Our diaspora is the final chapter. The ancestral lineage built pyramids. America's first immigrant. The king's son and daughters from now waters. The first architect, the first philosophers, astronomers, the first prophets and the doctors was us.
Now they want to say we Asiatics. But when you go to Kemet and you go to the walls, these are the Asiatics. The Nubians, the Ethiopians clearly distinguish themselves from the Asiatics. Now let me show you something. Let me show you something. Is that who it is? Is that who it is? They're coming to play a game. Now this one right here is in Kemet. Now you mean to tell me that ain't the same man? That's the same man. We Asiatics. Come on now. We African people. Our people came out of the womb of the Nile. The history of the Nile Valley speaks clearly of this. Egypt came out of Nubia. Nubia came out of Ethiopia. And all our people descended out of the Great Lakes region of Central East Africa.